1934, just the fifth year of all talking movies, 4 pictures opened in America that brought with them a seemingly new slant on the romantic comedy. 3 of them are now available on home video. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, their first starring picture, The Gay Divorcee. William Powell and The Thin Man.
Pretty girl.
Yes, she's a very nice type.
You got types?
Only you, darling. Lanky brunettes with wicked jaws.
And Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert in Frank Capra's It Happened One Night, a sleeper which at Oscar time that year swept the top 5 categories. This particular kind of modern romantic comedy, so deeply identified with the 30s and the height of the Depression, eventually came to be called screwball comedy. Recently, Alfred Knopf published this beautifully produced book about these extraordinary American movies, Romantic Comedy in Hollywood, from Lubitsch to Sturgis by James Harvey. And it's unquestionably the definitive work on the subject. Mr. Harvey spent over 8 years researching, talking to survivors, seeing all the films repeatedly. He's got a remarkable facility in making the movies come alive on the page, like seeing them with an educated, sensitive observer who can reveal the complexities beneath the surface without ever being pedantic or dull. The genesis of this very American kind of screen comedy started in the silence with an Englishman, Charlie Chaplin. One of only 2 movies he directed but didn't star in, A Woman of Paris, was a sophisticated urban comedy with Adolphe Menjou that wasn't very successful but made a tremendous impression on another European director working in Hollywood, the German master named Ernst Lubitsch, who had his first great American success with a sophisticated urban comedy called The Marriage Circle, also with Adolphe Menjou. And Lubitsch would spend almost all of his subsequent career making romantic comedies of this kind, influencing all modern screen comedies, including 5 musical ones that had a major impact on the Astaire-Rogers series. The term screwball didn't actually come into use until around 1936, when a press agent seems to have coined it as a way of describing Carole Lombard's amazing performance in Gregory LaCava's My Man Godfrey.
Suppose you come down out of the mountain. Tell me about your trip.
Well, we went to Venice, and one night I went for a ride one of those rowboats that the man pushes with a stick. Not a matador, that was in Spain, but something like a matador.
Do you by any chance mean a gondolier?
That was the name of the boat, and the man that pushed it sang. It was a beautiful song. I didn't understand it, but it was beautiful.
I see. So you closed your eyes, and the man was Godfrey.
It was wonderful. I didn't even mind the smells.
Well, it's very convenient to take a trip abroad without leaving the kitchen.
Oh, you have a wonderful sense of humor. I wish I had a sense of humor, but I never can think of the right thing to say till everybody's gone home.
Although Ernst Lubitsch and Preston Sturges started and ended this golden age of the romantic comedy, probably the purest, most definitive, still the freshest screwball comedy was made by the man who first put Laurel and Hardy together, and a photo from the film graces the cover of Mr. Harvey's book. Irene Dunne, Cary Grant, and Asta the dog in Leo McCarey's The Awful Truth.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, it's nothing. I was just thinking about your problem. You certainly have a problem.
The plot is very simple. Grant and Dunn are married. They have an argument based on jealousy, and in Mr. Harvey's words, spend the rest of the movie trying to break up one another's subsequent romances till they finally agree to get together again. Ralph Bellamy is the other man.
To you, my little prairie flower, I'm thinking of you every hour. Though now you're just a friend to me, I wonder what the end will be.
Oh, excuse me, Dan. I do laugh at the oddest times.
But now I know I'm out in the cold.
I just met her.
My dreams are gone with the wind. Songs in
I guess it was easier for her to change her name than for a whole family to change theirs.
Leo McCarey had a very casual way of working, going to the piano when he was stuck for an idea, rewriting up to the last moment. And Cary Grant at first was so thrown by this that he asked to be replaced. Luckily, the studio didn't agree, and the picture went on not only to make Grant a major star, but one virtually synonymous with screwball romantic comedy, as it did for Irene Dunne. Leo McCarey won the Oscar that year as Best Director.
Oh, are we going, sister? I'm going to begin some time myself.